but Ram is here. Samuel is here as well with us. Gentlemen, a hard-fought draw in the end. Thank God Luis Diaz was in the team today, Ram.
Yeah, man, thank God, and big up to him. I think him and Gravenberch for me are the only players that can hold their heads up high. Obviously, Alisson is a given. He is what he is. Alisson is inevitable in my opinion. But that was one of the worst performances I've seen in a very long time. You know, every single player, barring those three players that I mentioned, and Elliot as well, deserved to get so much corn today. And look, I'm going to go straight into it. I've bigged up Darwin Núñez this season. I've been impressed with what he's saying. You know, me and Sam have been joking about how he misses all these chances. But when it comes to these big moments, you got to corner him. You got to give him the criticism that he deserves. You know, that is an absolutely outstanding miss. And Terry, it weren't Salah cushioning it down for him. It was a misheader. He was just as poor as Núñez was today. I looked at the replays. He missed the header, and it just rebounded back into Darwin Núñez. And the miss is inexcusable. And that was the story of this game. The chance that he had in the first half, in my opinion, should have buried it. You should have buried that. And the second one, got to do better. Like we laugh and joke about him. Oh, he's Agent Chaos. He does this. He does that. And we're giving him credit for the good GA that he's produced in the last 9 games. But when it comes to these big moments, when you're needed and you've got to do something, come on, you're better than that. And missing from 2 yards out, which would have stood, is a big L for him. And I don't know what to say, man. I really don't know what to say. All I can say is Luis Diaz, the amount of character that guy has to show to come on with the situation that he's been in the last couple of weeks. And to do that, mentality. I've said it before, Terry, mentality of this team, I can't question. They've shown it. But certain players in this team show up when they're needed, and certain other players don't. And it's a big issue that we need to sort out, in my opinion.
I hear you on that. Sam, do you echo a lot of what's been said there? First of all, Darwin Núñez today, some huge chances missed that would have given you the lead, put the game to bed, and you almost suffered what could have been described as one of the most embarrassing results of the season.
I'm fuming. I can't lie to you. I am fuming. Oh, my days. This was a day where you should have went out with the 3 points and just moving on to the Europa League game. First of all, our overall play was all right, but it wasn't great. I mean, the passes were too slow. The the Salah, Jota, Núñez were absolutely poor today. Absolutely poor. Like, it's not like chances didn't get to them. They had their chances. Even Jota had a chance where he tried to shoot near post from to the keeper, and he saved it. But Núñez, come on now. What I don't want is that we got a lot of high volume shooters in this team, and guys that are not that clinical, if you get what I'm saying. So with Darwin Núñez, he needs about 10 chances. He'll probably miss like 8, but he'll score 2. We can't have that in these type of games. Because with Luton, you can see the game plan. They're going to sit back, park the bus, and counter-attack. And that plan almost worked to get them the win. But when you having, and I know it was quite fortuitous with Salah because he actually misheaded the ball. But when you're 2 yards out, why do you keep blasting the ball? Blasting it all the time. Like, cushion the ball. Like, I'm fuming. We should have came out with a W. But credit to Luton, they stuck to the game plan and they got something out of it.
I hear you on that. I do, and he does miss a lot of these chances. So I want to make sure I'm getting this right. So that wasn't a deliberate header to him by Salah, in your opinion. You're saying that he was going for goal but missed.
Yeah, he was going for goal and he missed.
Wow. It was a story of the game. Everyone in that front
In
line.
fairness, I was too busy laughing at the miss to watch the replay again. So that's probably why I didn't see it. Rack, what did you make of the play today? Jamie Carragher throughout the game was talking about how, you know, the passing was poor. There was a lack of, not effort, but a lack of kind of energy in the team. We saw the misses. Like, what do you put the draw, which really should have been a win when you look at the caliber that you're playing? What do you put it down to, Rack?
We see it quite often, not just with Liverpool, but with other teams. Sometimes when you go to lesser teams' home grounds, or you're playing them at home, there almost seems to be a bit of a we'll win, and one way or another. So there's not really that much counting on it. We just have to, you know, time will take its toll on the opposition, and we'll get our goal and we'll win. And I think it's easy for us to sit here and say that that shouldn't happen, but it does happen. We see it week in, week out. But ultimately, it's just not good enough. We didn't go in with the attitude that we needed to. Yes, we did create some chances, but ultimately we didn't take them, and we have no one to blame but ourselves. Luton are there to frustrate us. Luton are there to take what they can get, make it dirty. They weren't even really dirty. They made it tough for us. They played a physical game, and when they had their one or two opportunities, they took obviously one, and they nearly stole is a quite pejorative word, because that wouldn't have been a steal for them, but they almost took all 3 points. And ultimately, we have no one to blame but ourselves. And I mean, look, this season, I've said, a lot of people have been saying that they think we're ready to challenge for the title. I remain to be convinced after last season that we've made enough of a step forward that we're going to be challenging for the title. I think we'll be up there. I think we'll be in the top 4, top 5. And at one point, I thought we could be right up there. I think potentially we are better than Arsenal. Potentially we are better than Spurs, but not after performances like this. And when we were a machine, these kind of games would come round and we'd be focused, laser focused all the time. We play it tight. We wouldn't concede chances, and we'd score our goals. Nunes.
I think I just want to quickly say as well, Terry, just on top of what Sam and Raka said, Klopp deserves a lot of heat for today. This is the game where the inverted role wasn't going to work. I knew it wasn't going to work because of the way Luton play and the way that we struggled before with these kind of teams when Trent has inverted. And what I've been most hopeful from this season, that he's shown that tactical flexibility, he's changed people around, moved people into different positions, different styles of play. Today, he stuck to what it was, and it didn't work, and he didn't change it quickly enough. After 55 minutes, I was like, something needs to change. Nothing's working. Take off some players. He took him, I think he made a substitution around about 63, 64 minutes. I was like, if he made it 10 minutes earlier, like he'd done before, he made it at half time, it would have changed things. It might have changed things earlier. And he didn't do that. It's like everything that we praised Klopp for the last 11 games that we've seen in the Premier League and also Europa League and EFL Cup games. He did the exact opposite today. And that's where it cost us, in my opinion. It really did cost us.
I want to ask you, Ram and Samuel, do you echo what Rack has said, that it's these types of performances and results as to why he isn't convinced that you are going to be in the title race this year? Do you agree with that, Ram?
Well, that kind of thing has always been a problem for us. Even when we were starting off, we were really, really poor against the teams that were low block. The reason why I pushed against it before was we did it to Wolves, we did it to other teams that play that low block, and we found quite a little bit of joy against them. But today, I still push back on it, because today we had chances, we had the opportunities, we could have beaten them. All we needed was one goal. Even our set pieces, which we're known for, were just shocking. Couldn't beat the first man. Too high, too low, not to the right person, getting intercepted all the time. All these factors are just not coming to fruition. And today was an exact example of what was going on. Everything barring the final third was all right, was decent. Final third, atrocious, chaotic, no finesse, no calmness, no sense of clinical edge. We didn't have that. Trent will play a 40-yard ball to the left-hand side, and we have them on the ropes. And then we just slow it down and then play it back. And it's like, come on, man, what are we doing here? Like, we need to play quicker football against these players, not play slowly and lethargic and not even in decisive football. And that's the real problem for me for this game.
I said in the Twitter space before this game that I believe Liverpool win this game, but Liverpool have to be careful not being complacent. You saw today that they were complacent with the players. The way they were passing the ball. I remember there was a break that what day is this? This is my head is hot. Sorry, we were on a break, yeah, and they passed the ball to Trent, and Trent tried to cut it back where nobody was there, and it's kind of like, what are you doing? What are you doing? There was others which even Szoboszlai, McAllister, they were trying to pass the ball, trying to make free balls, and it just didn't make sense. And then they will get onto the ball, ponder on the ball, then make a pass. We need to be a lot quicker with our passes, but we weren't quicker with our passes.
Funny enough, the players in the starting 11, the only person that gave a damn is someone that's actually fighting for their place, and that's Gravenberch.
Literally. And
it smells complacency.
All you're seeing is just slow build-up, and we're not doing anything with the build-up. And I'm saying Luton are absolutely perfectly fine with us doing this. We're not being direct. And the times when we were direct, we're missing the chances. Nunes giving up the goals.
Can I ask you boys a question? Do you think, I'm going to rack first on this, does a midfield with Gravenberch, Szoboszlai and McAllister, no recognised holding midfield player, does it work? Because yes, you created many opportunities today, so that element did. But do you think that hurts you when it comes to the counter-attack? Notice the attacks from Luton were quite good today. Maybe one of their best attacking performances in terms of their approach to it so far. Is that something you're worried about being exposed by better teams moving forward?
I mean, it's a concern. The thing that a player like McAllister or someone of that ilk who's not as strong maybe defensively but is very, very good on the ball is that it helps you retain possession. So the number of opportunities you're going to concede on the counter-attack you would think would be less. But, you know, at the same time, if you concede good enough chances and you concede them regularly enough, then the opposition will score. But you would also hope that when you've got more possession, you've got better possession of the ball and you can create more, you would score more goals. And I think that's been one of our strengths going forward this season is that our tech has looked very good, or at least we've scored a lot of goals and we look like we can score goals against anybody. But conversely, we've looked like we can concede goals against anybody, like we showed today.
The one thing I have a problem with McAllister when it comes to sixth row is that he has the intelligence. He knows when to intercept and knows when to tackle, but he doesn't tackle. It's like half-hearted tackling, you know. And I'm gonna bring him up because obviously he played yesterday and had a very good performance. Andre in the Copa Libertadores, when I saw him, is something same mold as McAllister, but more mobile and more aggressive. And it's understandable why Jurgen Klopp was looking at him as a player that could play as a number 6. And all the attributes that McAllister doesn't possess enough of is something that he's looking for. A 6 needs to be aggressive. They need to know how to tackle and they need to know how to defend properly. And most importantly, mobility is important. And McAllister, he can get around the pitch, but he's not mobile at all. He knows where to be positioned and where to be in the right places. But when it comes to tracking back, when it comes to defending counterattacks, he's very, very liable because he's just not built like that. He's not. This is the
thing. When you have Trent invert, you need people in your midfield to have defensive awareness to know which positions to step into to cover his positions. And the problem is with your 3 midfielders, I see them all as more specialists in the attack. And that's not a dig. That's just what they are. And you know, if you have a Caicedo out there as an example in that holding role, I think that would stop an element of those attacks. Like Sam, do you think that's an area that you want looked at? Is this just about getting through a period until you can buy somebody else?
Yeah, no, literally before the season when I thought we were either getting Caicedo or Lavia, especially if we were getting Caicedo, I said we're going to win the league. Now that is a very important metric we're getting here because of how much of importance as a natural CDM is to a team. Look at Fabinho all those years and what he did for us. For me personally, I said once we knew we weren't going to get that CD, I know we got Indo, but again, as I said, he was like kind of like that utility player like James Milner. I said this team can hang on until January. If we keep it close until January and get Andre in January, then we should push on to do good things this season. But for the rest of the season, if we don't get a CDM, we are going to fall off because there's going to be teams that will see us and counter-attack us a lot of the time. And you can see with Luton, I call 3 of their counter-attacks very good. And it cost us. It cost us today. But again, the CDM role, we are playing well around it. But today it was kind of like 3-1. We move on to the next game. we score our chances. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, mate, and that's it. Sometimes it becomes. Sometimes you're talking about elements of a. And I know this is a United fan this season. You start to talk about elements of the game that went wrong in the 70th minute, but you think we'd have taken our 3 great opportunities in the first half. Would those situations have arisen?